So when we're talking to people, they're really asking us two questions. The first is, do you get us? Do you understand us? And secondly, can you help us? And the answer to the first question is really more important than the answer to the second question. So most of us want to work with people that get us, that understand us.
Welcome to the Making Sales Social podcast, featuring the top voices in sales, marketing, and business. Join Brynne Tillman and me, Bob Woods, as we each bring you the best tips and strategies our guests are teaching their clients, so you can leverage them for your own virtual and social selling. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Making Sales Social. My guest today is John Savage from the Savage Group. John has spent over 30 years engaging organizations and leaders from a variety of industries and cultures. His experience base has given him a unique perspective on new sales conversations. He and his company equip philanthropic boards, leaders, and organizations to grow to the next level of revenue, impact, and fulfillment. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. Great to be with you.
I'm excited to have you here today. So, as you know, we ask all of our guests the first question, which is, what does making sales social mean to you?
Well, I think it's a great context and question. And of course, you're really the expert on all this, but we're all happy to be a part of your community. And, what we've learned is we interact with our clients and our prospects in what we call tribes. And we just recognize that every tribe has social values, if you will, and culture that's important to them. And so when we're talking to people, they're really asking us two questions. The first is, do you get us? Do you understand us? And secondly, can you help us? And the answer to the first question is really more important than the answer to the second question. So most of us want to work with people that get us, that understand us. And I think as you teach, being authentic in your relationships and being socially connected, if you will, societies are tribes of sorts, and they have common values. And for us, we're in about 12 different tribes, and they have different values, different cultures, different things that are important to them. And so when we engage, it's really about them, not about us. And so people ask us, oh, tell me about the Savage Group and what you do and all that. And we'll say, well, look, if you don't mind, let us tell you about our clients that are either doing great and want to go to the next level, looking for a third party to help them get there, or they have a present day problem they want to solve. Which one are you? So we really have to start with letting them tell us what they value, what's important to them, obviously what their pain points are, those sort of things in social selling. But what it illustrates and what you teach is that it's different depending on the society, the tribe, the social setting you're a part of, that it's not everything. And we pride ourselves on not having cookie cutter solutions. So we really try to understand the culture from which the individual, the organization comes from, and then see if we can help or not.
Oh, I love that. I think that's a great answer. And that's going to lead me into kind of my first question, which is really around insights on sales conversations. So from your extensive engagement across various industries, what principles have you identified as vital for effective sales conversations?
Well, again, as I stated a little bit, that it's really got to be about them, not about us. And so we delve deeply with fairly intimate questions about the leader. There's organizations that retain us and pay our fee, but we're really helping an individual, a CEO, a board chair. We're mostly in the nonprofit sector space, family business space, philanthropic space, even some church organizations. All of those four groups actually function and dysfunction in the same way. And so we recognize that sometimes they're not getting effective results because of the dysfunctional issues that are there. And we have to make a safe space to talk about that and to engage them accordingly so that they own the problem that they want to solve. We have a 3-point framework of clarity, competence, and completion. And the clarity is foundational. What is the problem we're trying to solve? What is the thing of greatest interest to you? And that's the starting point in our conversations to see if we make sense to work together or not.
So I love that. And, one of the things we talk a lot about is stop sharing content that you want people to know and start sharing content that they want to consume. And I
Yeah.
feel like that kind of encompasses this from a conversation perspective, right? It's talk about what they want to talk about, not what you want to talk about. So I love that. Do you have any examples of sales challenges that you've seen in the churches or wherever you've worked, and how shifting that conversation made a measurable impact?
Well, I think for most of the people that you or we are in conversations with, they're stuck in some way. They have an obstacle, they've got a ceiling, they got something they're trying to break through. Even if they're very successful, even if they're an accomplished leader, they still have a vision for something beyond where they are today. And so I think the first part is to give them confidence. This is why we move from clarity to confidence, that they actually can believe that it's possible to break through. And for us, it's really about team. So our confidence module is really about building team and a better team and understanding the limitations of where they are today, that their confidence to break through that obstacle will come from, team building and an enhancement, on that level. And this plays out in privately held businesses that have shareholders on a board, nonprofits that have boards, churches that have boards. There's this other piece of leadership or ownership that most CEOs have to deal with, for better or for worse, and that's this shareholder group. And so we help them deal with that as well. Really, the shareholder group, the executive suite, and then the revenue team, whoever is involved there.
So, I'm hearing teams and I'm hearing different types of teams. So I kind of want to jump into the cultural influence, right? So in your experience, how does cultural understanding play into maximizing conversation effectiveness?
Well, again, I think if people are struggling to explain who they are, again, you just don't get us, you just don't understand us. And every one of our prospects would say, hey, we're really unique. There's no one else like us.
Right.
And that's generally not completely accurate, but we respect, where people are and have to, that's our starting point of commonality, is to respect the elements of that culture. And of course, there's good and bad in that. For a lot of organizations, there's the age-old comment of this is how we've always done it, and so we're not going to change. And so we have to be courageous, I guess, on our end in speaking the truth in love and wanting to bring across realities. And that's where a third party, just like in the work you do, a third party is so helpful to come inside a culture and see things that they're not seeing because they're myopic and whatever's going on there. And they've got to be teachable. They've got to be humble. They've got to be willing to have outside voices, speak into their world. And if that's true, then we usually can make a lot of progress.
Excellent. So I'm going to go one deeper on that and dig a little into what strategies or approaches do you teach when you're talking with sales professionals in order to master that meaningful and impactful sales conversation?
Well, I think everything falls and rises with leadership, and leadership is can be a person, can be a movement, it can be all sorts of things. But I think sales people need to establish their own voice. Now, maybe they're on a team of a company, maybe they're a solo entrepreneur, but in either case, they are a person, not just an employee on an org chart. And so what is your own voice? What is your own vision for your customers? How do you want to help them? How are you uniquely gifted to help them? And so giving yourself permission for that voice to emerge. What is it you really care about? Your own value system. How do you want to change the world within your industry? Or whatever that is, people are basically buying from you. And they're trusting you or not trusting you because of your own character, your own reputation. And so whether you use LinkedIn or other social channels to establish your identity, and then within LinkedIn, people do move around, but you're still there. You still have a brand, you still have an identity, and it really does fall back to you. I was in commercial lending early in my years, and really was focused on, on service, and they really didn't care who I worked for. The question is, did I keep my word? Did I follow through? And that built a great referral business. So you may be in a business that can cultivate referrals and repeat customers, or it may be a single transaction. I don't know, but in either case, your brand is going to be, I think, I can't remember, but I just got an anniversary remark from LinkedIn, and I've been there a long, long time. And so you, as you develop your own brand as a salesperson, you'll probably be there a long, long time. And so you want to steward that well.
So I love that. Let's say you're in a room with future leaders, seniors in college, folks that are ready to go out there. No matter what they're going into as a career, there's always some sales aspect to this, whether you're selling yourself on an interview, you're selling your ideas internally, or you're actually in a sales position. So what advice would you give seniors in college that are entering into the world?
Yeah, well, the book I have half written but not finished, is working title is The Art of Good Questions. And so I think when you walk into a room, sorority, fraternity, job hunting, whatever it is, there's the old adage that people don't care what you know till they know that you care. And so that is exhibited by having intelligent questions about the person you're talking, where you can do research in advance. It's helpful, so you can ask intelligent questions. And so if you're coming to me and you actually know something about me, and you ask me some questions about my career path or my latest book, or whatever it is, I'm like, oh, well, I actually want to talk about that, because most of us do want to talk about ourselves. So if you ask me questions that pull that out of me, I'm going to be more interested in you than the person next door who impresses me with all these stats on how important they are, but it has nothing to do with me. So social sales, social connection, it's all about connecting and finding common ground. And you can only find common ground if you get out your shovel and you start digging to find it and look for it. And so using index cards or on your phone or whatever method, I think come up with about 10 questions before you walk into an interview. My daughter just got a great job in Pennsylvania. And I said, the interview isn't just about you. You need to interview them too and see if there's a fit for you. And so being proactive in the interview, which is all about asking questions, is where I would start.
I love that. So my last question is, what question did I not ask you that I should have?
Well, that could be a long answer, of course, but
that's fine. The table is yours.
Yeah. I think I'm interested personally in a broader impact. So like the question is probably, what's the vision yet fulfilled for you, John?
Okay, go ahead. What's your vision?
And so, we did some research when we started the company with some other client relationships, and we said, how would you describe us? And they said, basically, you make us better. And so our tagline is making you better for the Savage Group. And that is, our core interest is to help people wherever they are grow to the next level and become better, and be excited about that. So we're not, we don't have metrics that are just general in accomplishing, stats, although we do have them. But our transformational stories is what really gives us purpose, gives us life, and helping people go to the next level, whatever that is for them. And that's how we measure success.
Oh, I love that. How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, thanks so much. Our web is johnsavagegroup.com. I happen to be John at johnsavagegroup.com, and available on LinkedIn and elsewhere.
Terrific. Thank you so much. You've given us some great insights on how to have more effective sales conversations. So we appreciate your insights today. And for everyone else, when you are out and about, don't forget to make your sales social.
Thanks for watching, and join us again for more special guest instructors bringing you marketing, sales training, and social selling strategies that will set you apart. Hit the subscribe button below to get the latest episodes from the Making Sales Social podcast. Give this video a thumbs up and comment down below on what you want to hear from us next. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. Visit our website, socialsaleslink.com, for more information.